This is the city council meeting for the city of Fairway, Kansas. It is Monday, December 9th, 2024. It is 6:32 p.m. I'd like to call this meeting to order. We have one announcement. We will be removing item A under new business concerning the Shawnee Indian Mission Agreement. That will be removed from the agenda. It will be on the agenda in January. The red line versions have not been reviewed by council yet. We should be getting those this week, and then Nathan and I will be taking a look at that, and we weren't comfortable in rushing it through this evening, so we'll move it to January, which we're still fine with that date, but that is the drop dead date because January 13th, which is when our council meeting is also the first day of the legislature. So it will happen in January. All right, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next on the agenda is the 10-year recognition for some of our volunteers. So I'm going to come out and join them in the audience.
Progress.
As I call your name, if you'll come forward, and you get to smile for a picture. Bryce, is that you? Who's doing the picture? I can tell you it's not me. We recognize volunteers, Abby tells me, at 8 years.
Elected officials are 8 years, and then everyone is.
Okay, elected officials are 8, and everyone, it's officials 10. Oh.
Employees and any committee
Members are 10. Okay. And is this the guidance of the league?
Yes.
Okay, League of Kansas Municipalities. First is Dan Bailey. 10 years, Dan. We have a plaque, certificate of appreciation, a little desk. Abby calls it the puck.
Okay,
And this is from the,
okay, thank you.
thank you. Next is Wendy Bailey. Thank you, Wendy, for everything you do for us. You've chaired Planning Commission now for not all of the 10 years, but close. Has it been 10 years? 4 years? We really do appreciate that. There's your certificate, and that for your desk, and from the league. Okay? Yep. Probably lose them. Next, Tanya. Tanya Keys. Tanya, thank you for 10 years as a city council person. There's your plaque.
I think for a couple of us, it's been more than 10.
Well, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay, hold on.
There you go. Next is David Watkins. You go, David. Thank you, sir. We appreciate all your
Is this going to be
time.
my speech now or later?
Yeah, later. How about during the reception?
Perfect, yeah.
There you go. I'll hold these for you.
Yours.
Okay. Okay, there you go.
Governing body comments.
And next, to our historian, who does a fabulous job, Jean Young. And if you didn't see his setup at the 75th anniversary in the park, it was fabulous. I know you did a lot of work on that. We
Well,
really appreciate it.
Staff here did all kinds of stuff.
They helped you too, didn't they? There you go. We appreciate it very much, Jean. That's for you.
Oh, I want to mention, the qualifications that I meet is that I'm old.
Oh, well, that's okay, but you still have to have your picture taken. You can't run away. Okay. There you go.
I'm historic.
You're historic. And we have one other one, and that's Rick Allen. For those of you who don't know Rick, he is with Public Works, but was not able to attend this evening. Okay, now let's party. We're going to break for 20 minutes. It's 20 till 7. We'll reconvene at 7 o'clock.
Recording stopped.
Sorry, Joe. Do you have a cup of coffee or something to party? Okay.
Vodka, vodka.
All right, it's 7 o'clock. We will reconvene. And next on the agenda is the monthly reports of the standing committees. The Consolidated Fire District, number 2, the chief is not here this evening, and we did
Recording
not
in
have
progress.
we did not have a report in the packet. So Nathan, you haven't heard from him or anything, have you? Okay. We'll move on then to administration and finance. Nathan?
Thank you, Mayor. The Administration and Finance Committee did not meet in November because of the Thanksgiving holiday. However, we did meet last Wednesday, the 4th. All of that report will be included in the December report presented at the January meeting. I am happy to answer any questions related to administration.
Council, any questions for Nathan on admin? Okay, finance, Nathan?
All right. Same thing for the Finance Committee. We did not meet in November. I will just point out sales tax for November came in at $202,000, which is a little bit below last year, but still above what we budgeted for 2024. For the end-of-year transfers, we will be looking to transfer approximately $1.5 million from the general fund into the capital improvement fund for 2024. The budgeted transfer was $1.1 million and change, but it looks like with the additional sales tax revenue, we'll be able to do about $1.5 to help pay for future CIP projects moving forward. You'll notice on the financial reports from MMS that there was no sales tax collected for November. That's because the state's distribution came on December 3rd, so December will have 2 months worth of sales tax collection when you see that next month. Happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Nathan? Nope, don't see any. I'm going to pull an audible here. I failed to introduce Todd LaSala. Todd is our city attorney this evening. He is a partner with Stinson. Welcome.
Thank you.
Long time no see.
Thank you. It's
We're
nice to
glad
be
you're
here. Great to be
We
here.
met many years ago.
It's been a long time now.
Yeah. And we have another special guest with us. Todd's going to introduce him.
Sure. Thank you very much for having us. We have a little transition going at Stinson in our public finance division. So you had Anna last month, you have me this month, and probably several months going forward. But I'd like to introduce Jim Mosselman, who is also with us, is a great lawyer who's got a really interesting background. He came from the Navy JAG Corps, where he was for 9 years before he came back to Kansas City to do real estate and public finance. Joined our firm several years ago, has been working on government public finance projects and municipal things, including some work with Fairway already. Jim, would you mind saying a few words about your background? Because it actually really is interesting, and if it's not presumptuous of us, I'd love for you to know Jim a little bit as well.
Welcome, Jim. We're glad you're here.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Todd. Hi, everybody. My name's Jim Mosselman. I am from Kansas City. Grew up in Lee Summit, and went to school in the area. And then, anyway, as Todd said, I joined the Navy after law school, and did 9 years on that.
You can tell them you're from K-State. It's okay.
I went to K-State. So yes, very, very purple, very purple. But yep, went to K-State, and then went to law school in Iowa. After law school, I joined the Navy, did 9 years on active duty, bounced around, lived in Florida and the Pacific Northwest. I was on the ship up there, an aircraft carrier, and then 4 years in the Pentagon. After that, did a couple of different tours there in the Pentagon, working for different people, all as an attorney. And we at the 9 year mark, we decided it was time to come back to Kansas City. I'm from here. My wife's from here. Both of us, I went to school right down the street. She went to school right down the other street. And so, it's good to be back. All of our families still live here. And anyway, it's wonderful to be here with the City of Fairway. Thank you so much. If we can ever do anything for you, please let me know.
Mayor, one other thing that Jim is sometimes shy about, but I made him admit this to Nathan recently too. He is one of the few people that you will ever meet who has actually driven an aircraft carrier. It was an unusual part of his role. He was interested in it, and that is one of the few people you'll ever meet who has actually driven an aircraft carrier.
Which aircraft carrier?
The Nimitz.
The Nimitz.
Yeah.
My dad was on the Saratoga.
Oh, cool.
In the 60s. Yeah.
All right, that is awesome. Yeah, those, big ships turn slowly.
That's probably a good thing.
That's wonderful.
Well, thank you, Jim, and welcome.
Thank you.
So we'll see you for a few months?
That's right.
Okay.
Several months.
Great. Okay, Police Department, Chief?
Thank you. A few things to mention, again, more pursuits. They're obviously becoming very common. We have identified some people that were involved in those, sent charges out, so put that in the county's hands at this point. One of the big notable things that I want to mention as well is we hired a new officer. He is a tenured sergeant from Paola. He started December 1st. He's actually out right now on our FTO program. So his name is Michael Bliss. We're super excited to have him on board.
What's FTO?
Field training officer. He's with the field training officer right now. Officer
Thank you.
Westhoff is training him.
Great.
And then-
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Well, we're happy to have him, and he seems very happy, so hopefully that continues. Also, along the same lines is we have interviewed and are interviewing 4 additional candidates to fill our last vacancy at this point. So we are moving forward with a couple of those individuals just within the process. So all of that is very promising, and we are very hopeful that they will work out. They are very experienced as well. Lieutenant Bayless has done an excellent job with that, and there's more to follow within the next couple weeks on that.
Chief, how long has it been since you had a choice of candidates?
Well, we're fortunate that sometimes I get to pick and choose, but it's been a while since we've just had people knocking on our door.
Excellent.
And, we've had some pretty challenging times. And then I think word has gotten out of the type of department that we are, and I think now we're reaping that because
Yes.
people are coming to us and knocking on the door saying, we want to work for you. So,
Congratulations on that, too. That's
Thank you.
huge.
and then I'm not sure if you are aware of this, but there was some suspect in the city. He was all green. He was taken into custody, and I think there's more to follow on that before Christmas. I'm happy to answer any
Appreciate that
questions.
update. Any questions for the chief?
Oh, go ahead,
David,
ladies
you?
first.
Oh, okay. You said-
Jenna?
Okay. Thank you, Chief. Hi. I was so happy to see that there were not any car burglaries this month, but should we still be kind of on cautious about that? And are you still seeing those kind of things? Or maybe I missed it. You're giving me a look.
Well, there was a stolen auto.
There was.
So someone did leave a vehicle open with the keys. Also, recently, there was an open door at a residence when someone was out of town and they left their home open and someone went in. That will be in next month's meeting. As of right now, we believe that that's just going to be a criminal trespass. We don't believe that that was actually going to be a burglary, but we'll know more when the resident gets home. So the answer is, they're still out there. We haven't seen a bunch of them. A neighboring city experienced a large number of those within the last couple days. So they're out there, and then, of course, bad guys don't really understand jurisdictional lines a lot of times. So they just will be down the street, looking for cars that are open or residents that are open. So it's still very important to lock everything up. I wish we didn't have to do that, but we do.
Yeah, thank you. My other question is related to it, which is, do we still do you can call in if your house is, if you're going on vacation and you guys
Yes.
will do checks?
Yep, we get them every day.
Okay.
I get them the minute they're entered. So,
Okay. Thank you for that service.
yeah.
That's it.
David?
I just always need clarification, Chief. When you say you're filling the final vacancy, is that what I'd call the new position? Or is
Yeah.
Is that the new position?
Correct.
So that's excellent. Thank you.
Any other questions for the chief? Okay, we'll move on to Public Works. Bill?
Thank you, Mayor. I will also let my report stand as submitted. The couple things I'd like to point out is winter is finally upon us. Thanksgiving blessed us with a couple inches of snow that was supposed to be flurries and accumulating grass, and that didn't happen. Public Works had to respond. Giovanni got to drink from a fire hose whenever it came to snow removal. Since he's from the state of California, that was kind of his first experience with it. But he did well. He did well. All in all, I think they were in for about 5.5 hours and got everything cleared up and traffic moving pretty freely. The other thing I'd like to point out is our street sweeper is out and actively sweeping anytime that it can, which is when the temps are above freezing. We limit it whenever it's not above freezing because it has to use water to wet all the leaves down, and you don't want to do that below freezing temperatures. So, but we're almost all the way through the city one time, and then we'll rinse, lather, repeat, and do it all again.
Okay, questions for Bill? Yeah, Lee?
Hey, Bill, thanks for the information on the Norwood project. Following on the project that they're doing currently, which is the Chase Bank project, then it's my understanding that the water company is going to do, Water One's going to do some work after that.
Correct.
And my question is, what do you expect in terms of traffic flow or lack thereof for that part of the project? I know it's closed now. Will it open up but just be?
They're planning on, at least last I heard, from starting from the south end and working north. So they won't, the last part they'll do is up near Shawnee Mission Parkway, but I would imagine it would still be one lane and, you know, a few houses long as they move their way slowly north up through Norwood. And once that's complete, the gas company's wanting to replace their infrastructure there, and then ultimately we'll finally get to mill and overlay the street and not go back there in my tenure at least.
Well, it's good information. It'll be nice when it's finished, I guess.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, Bill. Parks and Rec, Bryce?
Thanks, Mayor. I just want to note the garland that is on the dais is from the Shawnee Indian Mission Foundation tree sale going on out there right now. They also have a few other trees left if anybody's still needing one, and some wreaths as well. We have some garland at Kathy's Park as well. It's fake, but it has lights in it and it's lit up at night, so you should be able, if you want to drive by there. Paul and Susie Lyon, who donated the funds for that, have already gone by there and given their compliments to the installer, so it looks really nice. So if you have a chance to swing by there, go do that. I want to mention that our pool main drain project kind of hit a little bit of a snag with the aquatics department shutting down from Lamp Reinerson that we had been very close to entering agreement with. So now we are moving forward with another company very soon, hopefully, and looking to get that done hopefully by the end of the year. And finally, along with the green person that Chief arrested, we have the social media stats that were kind of been fun to look at lately, but we're up 120% on likes per day. We're up 137% on total engagement, and up 64 on profile views, 64%. So that's credit to Renee and Jackson first that have kind of come up with this, and then working with Chief Thurlow and Mandy as well, and well, everybody at the city really. All departments have kind of contributed to this. So it's kind of a fun thing that that's really been engaging with the community, even though it's cold. So
They're doing a great job. Tell them thank you. Any questions for Bryce? Oh, okay, thank you, Bryce. Monthly reports of the special committees. Tree Board, Bill?
No report.
Next on the agenda is public comment for the consent agenda items only. I will read those into the record. A, approved minutes of the previous regular city council meeting. B, approved minutes of the November 13th, 2024 special city council meeting. Approved claims and appropriations, ordinance number 1817, November 2024. D, approved the 2025 holiday schedule. E, approve the cereal malt beverage license for Hen House. F, approved letter of understanding with Johnson County Aging and Human Services for for the 2025 Johnson County Utility Assistance Program. G, approve 2025 agreement for information technology services with Johnson County Board of County Commissioners. H, approve amendment to the Fairway City Employee Manual. And I, approve the 2025 CARS interlocal agreement with the cities of Roland Park, Kansas, and Westwood, Kansas. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to comment on any of the consent agenda items? Jim, please state your name and address for the record. Is the mic on?
Thought the light, oh, it goes green, okay. I just took a quick look at the employee manual, and on section, I guess is that an I-9 or 1-9, I guess it is, A, the first line, next to last word in that line is unlawful. And my thought is that that's unnecessarily restrictive, especially since I don't believe familial status comes under any restriction on discrimination. And the word unlawful does not appear with respect to that list either later on in that paragraph or in the following paragraph.
Got it. Do you see where we are, Todd? Okay, we're on page here. And unlawful's at 1.1.9?
Yeah.
Okay, the word unlawful is right. It's
Here?
Yeah.
Is the question whether it's redundant or here?
I think it's probably unnecessarily restrictive and somewhat redundant, possibly. But, and then the last phrase kind of picks up everything anyway, and that any other characteristic protected under applicable state, federal, or local law. So it's going to cover everything. But I would be afraid that somebody might look at that and say, well, I'm discriminating under familial status, based on familial status, and it isn't unlawful.
Yeah. My understanding of what we were doing here is that we were trying to align our policy. But I think I see your point, but this, without unlawful, I wonder whether the term wouldn't be too broad. That you could argue that things are discriminatory without the law governing, right? Ultimately deciding. So there are practices that discrimination is a fine line, and there is a body of law about what's discrimination and what isn't. And so I think my comfort level would be to stay with the word unlawful. I do take your point. I understand what you mean, and I appreciate the sentiment that you don't want to box us in here. But at some point, we do have to decide and make judgment calls about whether it's unlawful discrimination or doesn't fit or is otherwise acceptable under the law.
Well,
So-
then should, further down, talks about administer all personnel matters such as hiring, compensation, benefits, promotion, training, transfers, layoffs, and terminations without regard to or without discrimination based on, in the same laundry list. Doesn't say unlawful there. And you've got the same issue down in B. So there's an inconsistency.
Yeah.
Can I weigh in as an employment attorney who
Yes.
writes these policies all the
Gosh, that'd be
time?
great. It would be so great to have you.
It's fine to get rid of it. It doesn't have any if Jim is feeling passionate about it, I don't think we lose any protections as
I'm
a
not
city.
feeling passionate about it.
I didn't mean that as a disparaging thing. I mean, you have a valid point, and I don't think it doesn't give us any less protection as a city, so I feel comfortable with it.
Don't discriminate against them by calling them passionate. No,
Not a protected category.
yeah, Jim, thanks for bringing that up, and I think the intent, as you said, Mayor, was to, and Nathan, to make this consistent with
The
our
NDO.
non-discrimination resolution and ordinance, and I think we have a very broad-based public policy against any and all discrimination, and in the context of this is our employment manual and hiring, et cetera, I don't think we need to say unlawful, is that we're not gonna hire based on discriminatory practices. So if you take out unlawful there like you did a little later, I think that A, it's consistent, and I do agree with Jim, it doesn't, and Jen, it doesn't detract, and I'd be comfortable amending, I don't know the Robert's Rules of Order, to amend, you remove H and amend it to delete that one word, or just a friendly amendment to adopt it with that one word deleted. If you need a motion for that, I'll move.
Is that the only place that it does that?
Yes,
And
based on what I saw, yes.
okay, so the other red line sections did not have the word
Correct.
unlawful, so it's just this one
And
place?
it did remove it.
That, just to clarify, that was not part of the red line, that was the original language of the policy.
Oh,
So
okay,
we'll just-
sorry, I didn't have my copy.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
And if there is a consensus that that is a non-substantive deletion, then I don't think we need to pull it off consent.
Oh, we don't?
No, I wouldn't pull it off, and just approve it with an amended,
We could pull it off consent in order
oh, I see what you mean.
To-
Gotcha,
to
never
amend
mind.
But if it's not a substantive change, I'm comfortable with just deleting the word and still leaving it on consent.
Okay. Who determines if it's not that kind of
The guy
change?
sitting next to you.
Yeah, I agree
You
with
agree with
Nathan.
that?
Yeah, I think we
Okay.
can take it out.
We'll
Yep.
take it out, and we don't need to pull it off.
Right.
Okay.
So you could still approve your
Okay.
consent agenda
Okay.
as with
It
that
doesn't
change.
matter, I don't mind pulling it off, but, okay, we'll just remove it. Thank you, Jim. Any other public comment concerning the consent agenda items? All right, these items are determined to be routine enough to be acted on in a single motion. However, this does not preclude discussion. If a council member requests, an item may be removed from the consent agenda for further consideration and a separate motion. Does anyone wish to remove an item? Is there a motion?
Mayor, I move to approve consent agenda items A through I.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and
Second.
seconded that we approve consent agenda items A through I. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Yes.
That's right.
H will be modified.
Yep.
Passes unanimously. Okay, we'll move on to new business. We will take public comment after each of the individual items. Item B, consider resolution 2024E, a resolution of the governing body of the city of Fairway, Kansas, updating the master fee schedule for the city. Nathan, is that you? Okay.
Yep, every December, we go through and update the master fee schedule as called out by the city code. So staff has reviewed, and Abby has outlined the changes that were made. Abby's, with her fresh set of eyes in her new role, she's able to see things that maybe those of us who've been in our same seats for a long time haven't seen. So that's why you can see there are a number of items where she references that were in the code but didn't have an associated fee with it. So that has been, she has worked through that, and really this is, I mean, in terms of what we usually do with this is pretty standard operating procedure as far as the master fee schedule.
Janet, do you have a question?
I do have a question, Nathan, just for the solid waste bags. Is that just a pass-through from GFL?
Yes, yep.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor, I had one. Oh,
Yeah,
Lee, go
David.
ahead.
Go ahead, David.
No, go ahead, Lee. Go ahead.
I recognize David.
Okay.
Please go ahead, David.
Oh, I was going to say, I noticed for the first time this year that we have a fee for peddlers. And do we need an exception for Santa Claus? Because he's been characterized as a peddler for many, many years. And I just, with this time of year, I don't want to have there be any issues.
I think we'll be okay this time, but I'll make sure Abby adds that for future consideration. Thank you.
So I apologize if I know this or should know it, but where did we end up with the green space impact fee conversation?
That's ongoing. In
Ongoing.
fact, I think we have a call tomorrow on that, right?
Yeah, we have a call with Anna.
We're just needing to ensure that this doesn't appear as an excise tax because we can't have an excise tax.
In progress.
Yeah, so, and what we'll do then is, assuming we're able to move forward with something like the impact fee within the first quarter of 2025, we would just do an amendment to the fee schedule.
Perfect, thank you.
Any other questions or discussions from the council? All right, I'll open the floor for public comment. Anyone in the audience or online that would like to come forward for that item? Anyone online, Nathan? Okay, seeing no one, I'll close that public comment, and I will entertain a motion concerning Resolution 2024E.
Mayor, I move that we approve Resolution 2024-E, which is a resolution of the governing body of the city of Fairway, Kansas, updating the master fee schedule for the city.
All those in favor, aye. Oops, is there a second? Okay, Jen, a second. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Passes unanimously. Okay, item C. Consider ordinance 1818, number 1818, an ordinance amending the parking restrictions in the local traffic regulations of the Fairway City Code, amending and repealing existing section 10-60 of the Fairway City Code. Who handles that one? Is that Chief? Oh,
Yep.
Bill.
Yeah,
Okay, Bill, you're up.
we needed to replace the no parking signs along 62nd there near Highlands Elementary School, and wanted to make sure that the information we had on them was consistent with what we had in the code. And there's exceptions on the current signage for holidays and weekends, which was not in the code. So this is just bringing this up to what the actual signage was out there. So we're amending the code to represent what the signage has been for years.
Okay.
And the no parking is there for basically morning drop-off for kids. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to get down 62nd Street, and it's not an issue on the weekend, so.
Gotcha. Any discussion or questions from council? Dan?
I don't think it has to do particularly with what we're talking about right now, but there's a little language that's changed on there on Mission Road, which just reminds me. I think that stretch of Mission Road between Shawnee Mission Parkway and the Indian Mission is getting substantially more congested, more people parking there. So I'd like to have that discussion in the future about whether or not we should change something.
Yeah, the David suggested whenever we brought the no parking up in the past that it was 7 to 6 p.m. and now it's 7 to 7 p.m. to make it consistent with what is on 62nd Street. So it is a little more restrictive. I updated the chief that the signage that was out there was not accurate with what was in the ordinance. The signage that is out there now is. So that's been brought up to compliance.
Anyone else? Okay, we'll open the floor for public comment considering ordinance number 1818. Anyone wish to discuss this item? All right, well, I see no one, so we will close public comment, and I'll ask for a motion on this item.
So, Mayor, I move that we approve ordinance 1818, an ordinance amending the parking restrictions in the local traffic regulations of the Fairway City Code.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we approve ordinance number 1818. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Passes unanimously. Okay, item D, consider ordinance number 1819. An ordinance granting sprint, is that the word we want to use? Okay. Sprint Communications Company LP, a contract franchise to construct, operate, and maintain a telecommunications system in the city of Fairway, Kansas.
Yes, that's the name they were using, so we'll continue to use that
okay.
on our end as well.
Even though
Yep.
that name isn't around anymore, okay.
Very basic franchise update here. The existing franchise is expired, and so this just sets us on a new path for a new franchise. We spoke with Anna today about this. There's nothing out of the ordinary in terms of what this franchise agreement is, and it's very similar to what the existing agreement that has expired was.
Okay. Any questions for Nathan? All right, we'll open this for public comment. No takers? Okay, we'll close public comment, and I'll entertain a motion concerning ordinance number 1819.
Mayor, I move that we approve ordinance 1819, which is an ordinance granting Sprint Communications Company LP a contract franchise to construct, operate, and maintain a telecommunications system in the city of Fairway, Kansas.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve ordinance number 1819. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Passes unanimously. That concludes new business. Next on the agenda is governing body comment. During this time, members of the governing body will be given the opportunity to speak about matters related to the city. No formal action will be taken during this time. Does anyone have anything they'd like to discuss? Comment on?
I do
David?
want to reiterate or add on to Bryce's comment about the greenery at Kathy's Park. It looks really nice. I ran into Paul Lyons the other morning walking, and I know he's pleased, and it just really looks nice. It's a nice touch. It's not overdone. It's very, very tasteful. It's a nice look for the season, so good job on it.
Anyone else? Dan?
Thank you for our students for coming tonight. Got to meet everybody, and I've just got to warn you again, though, if you come next month, we don't have cookies.
Yeah, no. Anyone else? Okay. We'll close the governing body comment. Next, I will open the meeting to public comment for items not listed on the agenda. Anyone that would like to come forward? Anyone online, Nathan? All right, we'll close public comment, and I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we adjourn. We are adjourned.